Hi everyone, and welcome back to my kitchen. Today I am back with an incredible fall recipe, and this one is a must for your Thanksgiving menu. I'm going to show you how to make my classic pecan pie, but without the corn syrup. So instead of the syrup, I'll be using some maple syrup, and to be honest, the maple just adds so much more flavor to this recipe. It's so delicious. I'm going to finish it off with some whipped cream on top, and you just cannot go wrong with that combination. Let me show you how I make it. And any great pie recipe starts with an equally great pie crust recipe. So today I'm using my basic pie crust recipe. I have a separate video recipe for that. I'll include a link down in the video description box below. So when you're making this at home, you actually want to pre-make the pie crust at least an hour before you start on the pie. I just pre-made mine the night before and placed it into the refrigerator. I'm going to take it out and let it thaw for about 15 minutes, and then we'll get started. And I absolutely love this super easy pie crust recipe. It requires just 4 ingredients. And you just toss everything into a food processor and you have an incredible crust in just a few minutes. So I'm going to lightly flour my work surface and my rolling pin. And once you have the dough rolled out, just transfer it into a pie pan, and then you can shape the edge however you like. And then I rolled out the remaining scrap dough, and I'm going to cut out little leaves that I'm going to place along the edges of the crust. This is just a decorative step. If you want to add a little bit of decoration to your pie, this is going to be the perfect time to do so. And to attach the leaves, I'm actually going to brush the crust first with a little bit of beaten egg. That way the dough is going to just stick better together. All right, I have my pie crust all done. It turned out beautiful with the leaves on the edges. I'm going to set the pie crust aside for now and get started on the pecan filling. So in a small saucepan, I'm going to melt a 1/3 cup of unsalted butter. Just drop it into the pan and let it heat. All right, so into my melted butter, I'm going to add in 1/2 cup of brown sugar, 1/2 cup of white sugar, and 1/4 teaspoon of salt. Just gonna mix this all together. And I'm also going to add in 3/4 cups of maple syrup and mix that all in. All right, so I'm going to pour this mixture into a large mixing bowl. I'm gonna just let it cool for a few minutes because it is gonna get really hot. And while that sugar mixture cools down, I have 3 large eggs in a separate measuring cup. I'm just gonna grab a fork and quickly beat these for about 2 to 3 minutes. And next into this mixture, I'm going to add in 1 cup of chopped pecans. And I'm going to add in a cup of pecan halves. So I like to add a combination of the chopped and the halves for more texture. A teaspoon of vanilla extract. And we're going to add in 2 tablespoons of flour, which is going to help thicken everything. And then pour in the eggs as well. And then I'm going to pour this mixture into my prepared pie crust. And then I'm going to grab my pastry brush and that beaten egg and then brush it over the leaves and the rest of the crust. And this pie is ready to go into the oven. All right, so I have my oven preheated to 350 degrees Fahrenheit. This pie is going to bake for about 45 to 50 minutes. The filling should be nicely set. And then as the edges turn a nice golden brown color, you'll want to tent them with some foil. So what I do is just take a little strip of foil and just gently kind of wrap it around the crust. That way the edges won't burn as the pie bakes. So once it's done baking, just take it out of the oven, let it cool for a couple hours, and we'll come back to make some whipped cream to finish off the pie. And once your pecan pie is out of the oven and cooling, it's time to make the whipped cream. So into my mixer bowl, I'm going to add in 1 cup of chilled heavy cream. You want to make sure it's really nice and cold so it whisks up nicely. To the whipped cream, I'll add in a teaspoon of vanilla and 1 cup of confectioner's sugar. And then just whisk this together on high speed for about 4 to 5 minutes until you get stiff peaks. And to cut the pie, you'll want to grab a nice sharp knife. I'm using a serrated one today to really cut through the nuts and the crust. And how delicious and tasty does that look? I'm going to add the whipped cream on the side. And this pecan pie is ready to be enjoyed. And that's it, guys, for my classic pecan pie. Now, I love to have the extra whipped cream on the side. If you don't want whipped cream, you can always use some vanilla bean ice cream as well. Time to dig in and enjoy. And this looks so, so good. And it smells amazing too. Wow, this pie is so incredibly delicious. I'm gonna be a little biased here, but I'm gonna say this is probably the best pecan pie I've ever had. It has so much incredible flavor. I love the addition of the maple syrup instead of the corn syrup on the inside. And the whipped cream is the perfect complement to all of this. It's just really light and fluffy, complemented by that crunchy pecan and the buttery flaky crust. If you guys are looking for an epic pie to enjoy this holiday season, you have to give this one a try. I'm going to include the link down in the video description box below for the full recipe, which will be up on my blog along with the video for the pie crust recipe. I hope you guys have enjoyed this video, and I'll see you next time.